Aloha and welcome to Hawaii Preppers Network 808. It's been a while since I've been on here, but heck, what better time than now? Our infrastructure is weak. Our government is weak. Now I'm talking about the state of Hawaii. Now, as you all know, we have gone through a very powerful storm called Kona Low. Kona Low was damaging for quite a lot of businesses, homes, abrupting people's lives with so much wind, high winds, and heavy rains that created floods as well as mudslides across the entire state of Hawaii, which is comprised of 8 islands. Every single island has been affected in devastating ways, as you have seen across the news as well as on YouTube. And what I've noticed is that many businesses here lack preparedness, and many individuals lack preparedness as well. Now, these businesses had to throw out quite a lot of food. Now we're talking thousands of dollars, which could have been avoided if they took the proper precautionary measures to alleviate at least some of the problems when it comes to these natural disasters. And I'm thinking a generator would have at least helped them to avoid such costly waste. Perhaps many of them have learned this time around to prepare much better, and or to prepare to begin with. There are still a lot of people in their homes, in apartments, condominiums, that are still without power. They've been without power since Friday, and power coming on for these individuals has been slow moving. Now, not even these buildings have generators. The individuals do not have generators. So that only tells us all how ill prepared most of the state of Hawaii is. Will everyone learn to be better prepared for the next round of whatever natural disasters comes their way? Probably not. Perhaps a few will, but majority will not. They'll just go back to the regular same old. And with each incoming disasters, it'll be the same storylines over and over again for them. Now, a lot of the low-lying areas were majorly flooded out. Waikiki had major floods. A lot of places in Honolulu, major flood damage. Luckily for myself, I live high upon a mountain, so everything flows downhill, so it's not as bad for us since we're elevated much higher than everyone else in the lower areas in our state. But a lot of people did not fare very well during this disaster, and the winds did not really help. They were almost like hurricane type of winds, with 70 miles an hour on the tops of the mountains on the Big Island. They were over 100 miles an hour. Luckily, it was 100 miles an hour up there, because even 70 miles an hour winds would literally flatten everyone's homes here in the state of Hawaii, because everyone's homes are T&G, tongue and groove, single wall homes that'll just blow away. That strong of a wind, it'll blow stuff away. So we had gusts between 55-60 miles an hour, and if you didn't have things tightened down, they would blow away. If your roof was not in good condition and was not solid, that would just tear totally right off. What do? We prepare. When the need arises, the time to prepare has already passed. It's better to have and not need it than need it and not have it. I've also noticed that a lot of people are starting to prepare. Yay! Finally, they're noticing a lot of instability going on economically, financially, going on with the housing, going on with inflation, the high prices of food and everything that's happening. They're waking up. Many people can't afford food now. They see the prices going sky high with food. And with the things going on in the Strait of Hormuz, in Iran, oh my gosh, who knows how much more all of us will end up paying at the pump as well as at your grocery stores. That is why it is always imperative and important and vital to be prepared at all times. Be in the space of preparedness at all times. And if you can't prepare as much as you like, prepare as best as you can, to the best of your abilities. But just do something for you and your family to be prepared in the event of any natural disaster, man-made disasters as well. Yes, the prices of food has gone up and it's going to continue to go up. What do? Do what you can. If you have a little space of land, grow some food. Start growing on your windowsill. If you have an apartment, you have a balcony, you have some sun coming into that apartment, certain areas, start growing some food. Start small. You don't have to grow acres and acres of food because you have a small amount of space. You can grow herbs, perhaps some tomatoes, lettuce as well. These are some of the things that you might want to look into and start implementing to help you supplement what you have at home and what you need from the grocery stores. We all know that all of these things are going up in prices. Now, I see all across social media a lot of people either panicking, super concerned about the way that things are going in the world, especially for the prices of things, the prices of food, the prices of electricity, the price of your rent, mortgage, property taxes, and all of these things. Everything is hitting everyone at one time. Take them one at a time. Do your best not to overwhelm the senses, because it'll get you nowhere but frustrated, worried, and all those things compounded on top of you. Something you don't need. You really don't need during this time. So do your best to alleviate all of that garbage that's going to affect you, your mind, as well as your body and your mental capacity and your emotional capacity. Do your best not to allow these things to get to you. Think with the greatest of clarity on what you need to do, what you need to get when it comes to preparedness wise, food, water, shelter, your bills, and things of that nature. I mean, a lot of things are happening and a lot of things are overwhelming for a lot of people, and especially here in America. But know that this isn't just affecting our country. This is global. This is a global thing that's hitting everyone in every single country. If you're just starting out in preparing, I would start with the basics: food, water, shelter, as well as first aid and your medical supplies. Whatever is needed in that first aid kit, whatever is needed for you and your family, with all of those categories all together. But as you start off, do it one at a time, or establish some type of routine, some type of plan on how you're going to start preparing and stocking up. Have a short-term as well as a long-term food storage pantry. My short-term food storage pantry is in the kitchen. My long-term food storage pantry is in a completely, totally different room. I stock up on the necessities, the things that I use and or eat on a daily basis. I do not stock up on things that I do not eat and I do not use. I do not waste necessary resources such as money on things that I do not need and I'm not going to use, as well as I'm not going to eat. That's wasteful. As you prepare ahead of time, you're going to realize that you're not going to need to be going out there and panicking with everyone else and buying everything off the shelf. That's what ill-prepared individuals do, because they're not prepared. They go out and they buy up everything. You don't want to be part of that crowd, part of that hoarding and panicking crowd. You want to be able to sit back and have a mind of peacefulness because you did prepare ahead of time with all the necessary items that you and your family do need. Now we all know that gas is going up, and always have your car filled up with gas. Always have that extra can of gas on the side if need be. But also know that you're going to need stabilizers to stabilize that gas if it's just going to be sitting in the can for an X amount of time. Now Hawaii's environment is totally different. We have heat, we have humidity, we have we have salt air. We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, so we're surrounded by salt air. So everything rusts here and deteriorates a lot faster than it normally would across the United States in other states. We do not have any bunkers here. We do not have any basements as well. Nobody that I know of that actually has a basement. If they do, I have no idea who they are and or where they are. Therefore, we have to store things properly so they do not rust, because I've come across cans that have rusted. Therefore, I had to modify in how I store my food storage, and I have to check every so many months on those food storage items and rotate, because that's going to be part of your routine in preparedness. You're going to need to rotate stock so that it doesn't expire, it's not broken, bugs didn't get into it, and all of these things. A lot of my stock, the back stock storage, is in containers because of the environment that we live in. But I still need to check on those as well. If you can make some kind of setup in your home somewhere, if you have a basement, you can set up shelving and you can store whatever it is that you and your family consumes on a daily basis. So you have that advantage that we don't have here in Hawaii. But in Hawaii, you learn to make do. As a prepper, you learn to make do with what you have, with that environment, and you just navigate around everything as much as possible, as best as possible. Yes, we all know how things are really expensive now. So watch where your money goes. Do your best not to follow these trends in buying things that have zero value. Like I've seen months ago, maybe last year, how people were going crazy for those Stanley cups. That's ridiculous. Now nobody's buying them. And what are you going to do with all of those cups? Because a lot of people bought tons of these cups. And it shows in their videos and so forth. To each his own. I mean, you can blow your money on whatever you want. But if there's an emergency, there's a disaster, Are you going to be able to eat those cups? I don't think so. Are those cups going to generate some money for you? If you can sell them, that's another thing. But who's going to be buying it anymore? Because that trend came and went so fast. And if you're buying new cars, once that car leaves that lot, the value drastically drops. And then you're stuck with these monthly payments. For myself, I'd rather buy a used car, an older used car. It's so much better. It's paid off. There's no payments to be made monthly on that car. And I'm saving money there in and of itself. So I'd rather avoid paying money to the banks. No. Just having it straight up, paying for nothing. I owe nobody nothing for that car. And I just maintain it to the best of my ability and keep it running in its, optimum state as much as possible. But be very wary on where your money goes. And know that we're faced with a lot of different types of man-made disasters as well as natural disasters. And are you going to have that necessary emergency fund to fund for things that you're going to actually need when that disaster actually hits? Most of the people won't. They just won't. Very few. A lot of preppers, yeah. But perhaps society will change and start to actually realize that we're being faced more and more with natural disasters and man-made disasters, basically on the daily. And, everything is just eating away at whatever amount of money that we do make. So in essence, we're going to have to diversify things. We're going to have to look into supplementing that income in order to pay for this, pay for that. There's ways of doing it. You don't have to be crying and become a victim of your circumstances. There are ways. You just need to look into it further. Google it. We've got all the information at our fingertips now versus 20, 30, 40 years ago. We never had none of this. So now take advantage of all of that and start to prepare and start to do a lot of research. Do your homework. Set up yourself a folder of preparedness information on medical kits, medical supplies, how to do certain things, food storage, on water filtration, on all different information when it comes to preparedness. Have a folder intact in the event that the power goes out. Now, we have a lot of power outages happening, so right there, you're not going to be able to access nothing. You're not going to be able to access your bank accounts, no ATM, no stores. Probably the stores will be shut down. And if they're open, they more than likely will only accept cash. So know that we are in a time and space where, despite the technology that we have, it's still not good enough. It's still not up to par. It doesn't prevent things from happening. They haven't figured that part out yet to somehow prevent power outages, somehow prevent the loss of electricity and all of those things. So you're going to have to basically figure those things out on your own, and not wait for the government, because they're not going to save you. It's not happening. You're going to need to be your own savior when it comes to all things preparedness for you and your family. Now, these buildings that ran out of power here, imagine if you're living on the 20th floor. You're going to have to walk down 20 flights of stairs. How prepared is your physical body to be able to walk up and down those stairs? Probably not very well. There are a few fit people, but there's a lot of unfit people that'll have hard time. And if you can't walk very well, and if you're a senior and you're older and you have conditions, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to do that trek 20 flights of stairs up and down for however many days. Now, this is what these people had to be doing in these buildings because they had no power. You know, the power was slowly going up all across the island, but nobody thought of generators. Nobody thought of stocking up, preparing ahead of time. Despite, better to have and not need than need it and not have it. Nobody that I know of. Perhaps maybe there was. I might be wrong here. But as far as I know, quite a lot of people in my state just do not prepare at all. So before that power outage happens, knowing that bad weather is coming, like how it came for us, it is imperative, vital, to have an emergency cash stash on hand, because none of your cards are going to work. Your phone ain't going to work. You're not going to be able to get that digital wallet and purchase anything. Have an X amount of cash on hand outside of any banking institution, just in case. You never know when that power is going to go back up and if you're going to be able to access anything digitally when it comes to cash. So it's a smart thing to have some cash on hand. Make that smaller bills, 1s, 5s, 10s, the highest. Change as well, because not every cashier knows how to count or count back change and all those things. You're going to have to do that work for them. So make sure you have an emergency cash stash on hand at all times, just in case, and leave that alone. How much would you need? Well, it depends on your situation and circumstances. You would have to figure that out for yourself because everyone is different. No two are the same. Anyways, I think I've rambled on enough here. I just wanted to, bullet point a few things here regarding our storm, what I've seen, and what has been happening through the natural disaster that came our way. We were good. Our power did not even go out. Where I am situated, my power was on the whole time. But I did have my power station generator ready to roll. My double stack. It's a double stack power station generator. And I had that ready to go. It was all charged up. I had all my flashlights, everything I needed, all my food supplies, my cooking things. If anything did go out, I had that all ready to roll. So I did not need to go anywhere. Just sit tight and stay home. Going no place out to eat whatsoever. Because going out to eat has become a luxury now. Because it's too expensive. And if you're going to try to do that during a storm, you're probably going to be walking into businesses that have shut down. So it's best to be prepared at all times and have everything that you need under your roof, just in case. So this is just a few things that I wanted to bring up and discuss, since I've seen everything that's been happening here and watching things across the board on social media. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great day and keep preparing, because always remember, when the need arises, the time to prepare has already passed. Aloha.